What's going on, guys? Welcome to another classic review. This time is going to be Interstellar. Why? Because it is the 10-year anniversary. I got a chance to check it out in this 70mm IMAX near me. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Movie Dive. Today we're going to be diving into Christopher Nolan's 2014 classic Interstellar. And of course, don't forget, guys, I will be spoiling this movie, classic reviews. I will be talking thoroughly in depth about the film. So if you've not seen it, go check it out. I do recommend in the IMAX. I'm not sure how many days left it will be playing there. Please not forget to subscribe to the Movie Dive. I'll be giving away a free $50 gift card to one out of every 100 subscribers. Comment down below for a higher chance of winning and only one winner per month. So what is there to be said about Interstellar that has not been said already? Maybe a lot. Of course, this is a film that is an all-time classic. A lot of people rank it as their favorite Christopher Nolan movie of all time. Some people call it the best science fiction film of all time. When we heard the 10-year anniversary was coming up and found out that the 70mm was playing in the IMAX, perfect chance to go watch this movie again. Full transparency, I've probably seen this 5 or 6 times in my life because I absolutely love this movie. And no matter how long the movie Interstellar is, you keep wanting to go back to that universe because it truly feels as close as I'm probably going to get to going to outer space. Of course, Interstellar, it's kind of a dystopian future where people are starting to run out of food, crops are starting to die. We've got Matthew McConaughey in this movie. We've got a young Timothy Chalamet in this movie, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, the list goes on with stars in this film. So this movie talks about how there's so many dust storms starting to happen. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. We definitely know about dust storms in the summertime. Then we got Murph, who is Cooper's daughter, who starts getting the signals in her bedroom. And then she talks about ghosts who are trying to contact her. Of course, Matthew McConaughey, who is Cooper, he is more of a science guy, so he doesn't really believe what's going on. But once he starts investigating, he sees that there are coordinates for them to go to a certain place. When we get there, they discover it's NASA. We got some people Matthew McConaughey used to work with. He used to be a pilot. And now they want him to go into space and save all of mankind. For me, first and foremost, we got 2 stars in this movie. Christopher Nolan with an insane creative mind to create this film, and Hans Zimmer, who I believe created the best score to any film of all time with the score to Interstellar. Half the excitement of watching this movie in 70mm IMAX is also feeling like I was going to a Hans Zimmer concert with visuals along with it. As I get older, I do realize that Christopher Nolan has a little bit of faults when it comes to dialogue in his films. It kind of has that biopic feeling where every single line is just pushing the story forward rather than letting the characters breathe a little bit. Everything has to be some epic quote when a character starts talking. I do understand more so in Interstellar than Christopher Nolan's other films, though, because we kind of got to get moving towards the space and the rocket stuff because this movie is already 2 hours and 45 minutes long. There's a scene where they find NASA, of course, with the coordinates, and Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine are talking to each other. Suddenly he presses a button, the door opens, and there's a massive spaceship and all this shit going on over there. That stuff's kind of odd. That stuff's kind of corny, but you let that stuff completely pass because of the incredible nature of it all and what's coming up. And no matter how rushed and cheesy some stuff might feel in the beginning of the film, you still feel the emotional weight of it all when he has to leave his daughter behind, and he's leaving to not even know if he's actually going to be coming back. No matter how many times I have seen Interstellar, whenever he says the line to his daughter about maybe when he comes back, they'll be the same age, still emotionally hits you just as hard. When they finally take off, seeing that in the IMAX theater was kind of insane, especially again with the Hans Zimmer score playing in the background. You really feel the tension and the sense of how it would feel possibly going up there and leaving planet Earth. Of course, we have characters like Anne Hathaway, who I will say at the beginning of the movie, I found kind of obnoxious and annoying. I know she's supposed to be that way, but as the movie goes along, you start to really like her and understand where her character is coming from. And by the end of the film, you want to see Cooper and Amelia back together at some point. So Interstellar truly feels like an epic. You truly feel how wide and space might be. So of course, when they're in outer space, you have some kind of more Christopher Nolan dialogue where these astronauts are mansplaining to each other how space works. I mean, that kind of stuff, I guess you got to have to explain to the audience. Now, no matter how much weird exposition that is, you go right to the worm scene, which is once again, one of the most incredible things we will probably ever see on film. And again, seeing this in the IMAX 70mm was, you could say, pretty stellar. Now, of course, they go down to the first planet where it's just all covered in water. They get stuck there for some time. When they come back to the spaceship, finding out that it's been 23 years, pretty heartbreaking moment. And then, of course, you get Matthew McConaughey's famous memeable scene when he sees his daughter for the first time and finds out that they are the same age. It is definitely one of those scenes in cinema history that you will always go back to. We've got the surprise cameo by Matt Damon in this movie. It turns out to be a complete dirtbag. Shows how some people, no matter what happens in the Earth, are going to be selfish and want to do their own thing. Turns out that planet is uninhabitable. miserable, looked like a miserable place anyway. From the scene where Matt Damon tries to kill Matthew McConaughey's character, it's just nonstop from there, because then we got the docking scene, which is an absolute masterpiece in music, in tension, in filmmaking. That's one of those scenes that I can go on YouTube and rewatch every day for the rest of my life because it's perfection. Once you think you're done with the docking scene, then we're going to go to the black hole. Remember before 2014, everyone was imagining what would it be like to go inside a black hole? Well, Christopher Nolan gives you the idea. Obviously, no one truly knows in real life, but if you're going to go to a fifth dimension, that would be the way to do it, I guess. I think with an awesome ending, just looping everything around, as you know, Christopher Nolan loves to play with time. How this kind of explains that in the future, at some point, humans have found a way to reach all dimensions and just be able to cross time and space to deliver messages that they're supposed to deliver. Matthew McConaughey gets spit back out into space, of course, getting picked up by some spacecraft to tell him he's lucky to be found at that time, but you know he was put there on purpose, and he finally gets reunited with his daughter, who is quite a bit older. That scene last night when I watched it in the movie theater, I heard a lot of people crying behind me. Very effective scene. As you can tell, they both have come at peace to what happened. Cooper and Murph in different dimensions have helped save the human race, which was a beautiful thing. And she delivers the line about knowing he was always going to come back, and she's got her own family now, and it's time for him to go and continue exploring. And he's found his true meaning. He's going to go find Anne Hathaway's character, who's on another planet. Shows that she has started colonizing her planet that she's on. So it's a very good ending to the movie Interstellar. I think it's one of those movies that we're most likely never going to get again. People 30 years from now are going to look back at this film and be like, what happened to cinema? Where's that at? Christopher Nolan is still giving us those movies, so that is something to be very grateful for. I do find Interstellar being Christopher Nolan's film I go back to the most. Even though it's a very long film, I still find it so easy to go by in a breeze. Seeing it in the 70mm IMAX is something I'm very glad I checked off my list, and I can always say that I have done that because it was well worth it. I'm going to go ahead and give Interstellar an 87 out of 100. I feel like the older I get, the better this film gets. What do you guys think about this movie? Is it your favorite Christopher Nolan film? Do you think it's a little overrated? Let me know in the comments. I will leave you guys with my scores here at the end. Don't forget to subscribe. We will see you next time on The Movie Dive.